Hey Spartans, Brian Shantosh back with you on Spartan Stand. Wanted to talk to you today about areas of control, areas of influence, and areas of interest. You might have heard something before called the Serenity Prayer. If not, I'd like to just recite it real fast because these things are very similar to that. And what it says is asking for the serenity to know the things that you cannot control, the courage to change the things that you can control, and then the wisdom to know the difference. When I was in the Marine Corps, we did mission analysis, mission planning, and we used these things called areas of control, areas of influence, and areas of interest. And I find that they run very, very similar to each other to get to the same means. I've also picked up in a book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. You should check it out. And he talks about these things, control, interest, and influence as well, from a little bit different perspective. He might have a little bit different take, but they're all the same, and he calls them spheres. So first, there's an area of control. This is all of the things that are going on that I can directly change or make different or adjust to reset conditions or to reset my environment. I cannot control the weather. I cannot control whether it's hot or whether it's cold. I cannot control your emotions or your response. It's the area of control. Area of influence, those are things that I could potentially affect, either affect with my behavior, affect with my language, affect with my relationship or whatnot. Those would be your responses that I cannot control, but I could influence by the way that I hold myself or the language that I use or the facial expressions that I have. I cannot control the enemy, but I can influence him. I can influence him with fires. I can influence him with maneuver. All right? That's the area of influence. The things that I can directly affect and put them into favorable conditions if I do it smartly. Then there's this other area called the area of interest. These are things that I can neither control or have direct influence on, at least right away, but they're interesting. Interesting from the point of view that they may come into my operating lane for me to have to manage later. So I want to be interested in them. Or on a personal level, it just could be hobbies. I'm interested in doing these things and I want to do it, but they don't have a direct relationship to the mission right now or what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis right now. So that's the area of interest. Why I want to talk to you guys about these is when I find myself being frustrated with other people, frustrated with my life, or not as successful as I think I want to be, or I'm just not accomplishing my mission in a timely manner or the most efficient manner, I go back to these spheres or these areas and I say, I'm focusing too much energy in the wrong sphere or the wrong area. I'm spending so much time trying to control the things that I cannot control, and I should just choose to accept those. Accepting those doesn't have to be yay or nay. I just have to accept that they are facts, all right? I don't have to be happy with that fact. I don't have to be sad with that fact. It's unemotional, all right? Areas that you can control. If I'm always thinking about the areas of interest and trying to control those things, yet I can't, I'm going to be dissatisfied with my efforts to get the actions or the expectations that I'm looking for. So it's a simple shift pattern. I'm getting emotional. I'm getting irrational about the situation that I'm facing. I think I'm in the wrong sphere. I want to reverse that. I want to get process oriented. I want to start to get rational. I want to start to have positive effect or change on my current situation. I rewire and I look at the things in that area of control. Am I trying to control things that aren't in that area, or what things that are in that area that I'm not trying to control that I should be? So I want to try and come up with an example of what I'm talking about in my life. And the two that come to mind are in a grocery line that's just running slow and the person in front of me has all these coupons, or in traffic. And they both are very similar, but let's just dig into the traffic one first because I get really anxious in traffic and I'll be trying to get to a destination on time. And inevitably, there's an accident up ahead and we start to get in bumper to bumper traffic and it goes to 5 miles an hour. I mean, you've all been there, right? And I start to get anxious. I feel trapped. I start to get frustrated. I want to tailgate closer. I want to beep the horn. I get agitated. I start looking in the other lanes, which lane's moving faster. And I start pulling out the map, like what's going on is an accident, like why can't they do this? And I start to create, like, why don't they get the fire truck in here sooner? Why don't they bring a tow truck in here and open up the lane a little bit? And why don't these people in lane B just leave a little bit more space so that the guys in lane A can slide over? And here's what's going on. I'm getting emotional and I'm starting to get irrational. I'm focused on tow trucks and fire trucks. They're interesting, but I have no control or influence of them. The drivers to my left and my right, whether they open up or slow down or they move over to allow me to come in, it's interesting and I would like them to do that, but I have no control and I may or may not have some influence over what they do. I absolutely have no control of what's going on at the accident. So when I get out of this emotional place, I just take a deep breath. I need to get process oriented. What do? Well, what am I interested in that doesn't even matter? Get rid of that. What am I trying to control that I have no control over? Get rid of those. What do I have control over? I have control over my own response. I can not beep my horn. I can choose not to cramp the other driver and tailgate and throw them the finger and all these other things that we like to do when we get frustrated with other people. I can temper that down. And the funny thing is by controlling myself, I can start to influence other drivers. By leaving a little bit more room, I can influence them to potentially follow or model what I'm doing or allow them to pull in, which will alleviate some of the traffic pattern. Or by controlling my actions, I'm not exacerbating theirs where I start honking, he starts honking, I flip him the bird, he flips the bird, now we have another traffic accident. And this may seem like a superficial or an artificial example, but it's very real and close to home. And so get your head back straight, get back into the area of controlling what you can and not trying to control what you can't. And I find you'll get a lot more process oriented and you'll have better results. Hopefully you found this episode of Spartan Stand helpful. I want to help you take a stand on achieving your own success, achieving your own happiness. And I'm excited to be part of this family of Spartan Up podcasts that come to you almost every day of the week with professionals just giving you little tiny nuggets that might just make you a little bit better at doing whatever it is you want to do. Good luck.